I'm Tom, your friendly neighborhood atheist, and I'm still here at Apostacon. And this is No Old White Guys for Secular TV. And I'm here with the beautiful Jelena Levin.
It's me.
Okay. Who is currently living in London, but that's not where you grew up. So where did you grow up, and what was your family's religious affiliation?
Okay, so yes, I grew up in Latvia, and it's a former Soviet Union country. So it was pretty, I think still is, pretty secular place. So my mom and dad never really went to church or made us believe anything. So yeah, I kind of grew up in a secular family. My mom always said that she feels like there's no need to shout about God, believe in God, and God is in your heart, whatever. And my dad never even, he is still very, very much a communist, and he doesn't care about stuff like that at all. So when I was growing up, there was always questions about how the world came to be, and where it's all came from and stuff like that, and searching for the truth. And after the Soviet Union fell apart, there was a lot of New Agey Christian churches that formed and filled the gaps and the needs, the needs of people, who were looking for something. And so myself and my brother, we kind of very, very briefly went into one of those happy clappy places, where you just kind of and dance, but I just couldn't buy it, and it wasn't for me. And I think, that was kind of briefly what happened to me back in Latvia.
Now, you say your mother wasn't really into religion, but did they declare themselves as atheists? I mean, was being an atheist something that you considered yourself, or was that something that came later?
That's something that came later. There was never, we never talked about it very much, and never defined it in our family. And I think after, I think I was 25 when I finally read God Delusion by Richard Dawkins, and I think that was like a really definitive point for me where I could say, yeah, that's me. And I was just reading that book, and I was like, yes, I agreed with every single word. It was just one of those things. And I definitely say I am an atheist, and there is nothing to, out there that I believe exists.
Do you ever talk to your family about religion, or do you consider yourself an atheist? Do you ever talk to them and see if they consider themselves as atheists, or is it just something that they don't really talk about at all?
We don't really talk about it at all. I think I've mentioned to my mom in passing not long ago that I am an atheist and I don't believe in God, because we were talking about something, and my other siblings are very much religious, so it's quite weird. They grew up in a secular country and then they became religious later.
That's actually one of the reasons why I advocate that children be taught about religion, but all religions, because I think it inoculates them from falling under the spell of religion. Religion is very good at marketing and very good at indoctrination and convincing people, oh, this is what you need in your life. Absolutely. And unless you know that all these different religions basically play the same game, they're cults. So it's easy to get sucked into that faux feeling of family.
Yeah, that's what happened to my siblings. But yes, I know that like my dad is quite outspoken about the fact that he doesn't believe either. But he wouldn't probably. I don't think he ever said he's an atheist. But mostly we don't really talk about it. Religion doesn't play any role in our lives. Mm-hmm. Like, we don't need to pray before meal times. We don't need to thank God for anything. And it's pretty. I think I got it quite easy. Really.
It makes life easy if you don't have to thank somebody for everything.
You got to think for yourself.
Be happy that you have it, and thank the hard work and whatever that got you there.
Yeah.
So we met last year at Apostacon.
We have, yeah.
And so how many of these kind of conferences have you gone to?
So we're going to a couple. There's a conference there's two conferences actually in England that we like. So there's one called Question, Explore, Discover in Manchester, and another one was a European Skeptic Congress that was in London last week. So me and my husband try to engage in skeptic and atheist community as much as possible, and we enjoy just meeting like-minded people and getting involved.
So was what drew you to? Was Apostacon the first one? First Apostacon, I guess it was. But was the first United States conference you've been to?
The Apostacon was the first conference in the United States, but the first conference that we ever attended was QED, Questions for Discovery, in Manchester a couple of years ago, and that's where it kind of all started from.
Yeah.
We've discovered this world of conferences where you can hang out and connect with people, and just make great friends and contribute to the movement. So
was the same thing that got me from Chicago to Apostacon. The same thing was Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh yes.
Was he like? We gotta go see him.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Neil deGrasse Tyson and Lawrence Krauss, all in one. And it was like, even though it was in Omaha, which is a small place, when I was looking up to see where we can go after QED, because it was such a, fantastic experience. We met so many great people. It was like, we got to do it more often. And so the nearest conference in Europe was not in English, so we couldn't go attend it, unfortunately. So we the next one on the list was Apostacon in September, I remember. And I said, look, to my husband, Neil deGrasse Tyson is going to be there, Lawrence Krauss, it's going to be amazing. We've got to go. So we did.
And it was fantastic.
Unbelievable. It was just mind-blowing. So, and we're glad we did. And then we met with so many great people and connected with so many people and kept in touch. And now we're back. And this year is also fantastic. Penn and Teller here, and
it's really good. It's nice at a conference like this have the up things, and you had a dinner with Penn and Teller.
Yes, we have.
You got to sit with Teller.
We did. It was pretty exciting.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a really great guy. Nice guy. He was a bit tired, but he made an effort.
And probably a little bit more talkative than he is on stage.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, how many people didn't even know if he could talk? But yeah, he was great.
So, would you consider yourself an outspoken atheist, or?
Yeah, I guess I would, and I wouldn't really hide or whatever, But I think it's easy for me to say that because there is no threat.
Yes.
Like living in England, you don't, nobody particularly cares about that kind of thing. For us, the challenge in England is about promoting critical thinking, promoting logic and science, etc., to get people think the right way, to know what how to search for the truth and whatever else. And so people maybe in England might not believe in God that much, but they believe in other bullshit. Pardon the French. Like alternative therapies that don't work, voodoo, I don't know, spirits, third eye, whatever it is.
That's pretty true everywhere.
So it's all kind of same kind of thing. And but yes, we wouldn't be. Nobody would chase us with spears if we say to.
Now, what do you make of the fact that England, which is a religious country by the government, I mean, the church is tied to the government, but it's mostly secular, and the United States, which is built on the idea of being secular, is so closely tied to Christianity?
I know it's a bit of a paradox, but we're gonna all work together to, change the way it is. And I think the tide is rising. I mean, I think there's definitely some big shifts in America.
As Penn said, it's a growing movement, and the thing that we can do best to help it is to be kind and courteous and loving and just, say we understand you believe in crazy things and we disagree with it, but, we're not going to fight you on it. We're just going to tell you you're wrong.
Yes, we got to work together, I think.
Yeah. As Penn would put it, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, what would you tell other people who haven't made it to a conference like this, who feel a bit, isolated?
Well, obviously conferences involve a lot of expense. It costs money to go to, but there's always online communities. I mean, there's a great online community created by so many people. Like, for example, Seth Andrews created the Thinking Atheist online community. There are various ones that I've heard of that people can sort of subscribe to anonymously if they're worried about their identities, especially in America, and sort of get to know other people who think the same, and it will be so encouraging, and to get new friendships, and that's one. It's a free, it's free for all, and it's very easy, and I think so. Definitely the online communities, and also try to see whether there is a local meetup
Yeah, the
groups
meetup
somewhere.
groups.
Yeah, because we've got in England we've got something called Skeptics in the Pub. I don't know if you have that kind of.
Yeah.
You see, with America being larger and sort of, you don't have
More spread out.
Because in London you could go out
Yeah.
and you probably find yourself walking. If you walk 10 minutes, you'll find yourself walking past about 20
Yes.
pubs. So
And here,
it's a pub culture.
and here you walk by 20 churches.
Yes, well, that's true that. But yes, so but here you've got local meetup groups. Like I know that for example, Oasis is spreading quite quite quickly, and
Oasis is a secular, not church, but it's sort of a church-like atmosphere that people get together to find community and to basically celebrate life and to
that's right. Yeah.
find commonality, and it's kind of like a mini conference each week.
Yeah. And also, of course, like reading about it. I just spoke earlier about God Delusion by Richard Dawkins, and getting these books and just sort of going through them and seeing what's out there. And so there's various ways. But I mean, conferences are great still. I think I'm a great advocate of conferences because there's nothing that replaces that connection with people and hearing those fantastic talks and speakers in one place. It's just
Here's some great stories, and it's true. It's. I mean, I went to the first one last year, and I went to Skepticon, which was a couple months later, and saw a lot of the same people, but it was like seeing family. It's like, and I'm sure for you coming here, you just like
felt exactly the same.
Instantly, it's family.
Yes.
I mean, for me, it's better than family reunions because I actually like these people.
Well,
I do like my family. Just
you don't get to choose your family.
They're not as enthusiastic about the things I'm enthusiastic about. So
yeah. Well, you get to choose your friends, and that's a great thing that a conference like this offer you an opportunity to make a lot of really great new friends.
Yes. Well, thank you very much, Jelena.
All right,
I appreciate you taking time for me. This again is Tom, your friendly neighborhood atheist, and this is No Old White Guys for Secular TV. And hopefully next year you can make it to Apostacon or make it to the Reason Rally. Oh, one more question I did want to ask you.
Okay.
What do you think of this openly secular movement?
I think it's great. I think they're doing the right thing. I think they're encouraging people to come out and saying, "Look, I came out. It's fine," because.
Well, what do you think of the comparison of saying you're openly secular versus you're atheist?
Okay. Yes, and I haven't got an opinion about that. I know some people have really, they're quite. You have to define whatever. I think.
Well, I see it's difficult for some people to say that they're atheists, and openly secular is a much more soft,
subtle,
and not so overt way of saying I don't believe.
No, and I think atheist has got a really bad name.
Yes.
So to speak. But yeah.
How's it in England? Is it as bad there as it is here? When you see?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think it's
well. See, we pray this country to get away from religious dictation, and they're the ones who've gotten away from it. Anyways, thanks again, and
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.